Hello everyone, welcome to ES Pharma Education YouTube channel. Today in this video I am going to explain about the pharmacology of tocolytics. So these tocolytics are otherwise called as uterine relaxants. Tocolytics are the drugs which are also called as uterine relaxants. So first I will explain you what is the mechanism of action of tocolytics and at what conditions we will be using this tocolytics and who will use this tocolytics. I will explain these 3 points. So first, moving on to the mechanism of action. They will mainly inhibit your uterine contractions. Tocolytics are the drugs used to inhibit uterine contractions. This is the mechanism of action of tocolytics. They will mainly inhibit the uterine contractions. Then, at what conditions we will use this tocolytics? Our women use this tocolytic drugs under 3 conditions. The first condition is to delay the premature labor. To delay the premature labor. In this condition, we will be using this tocolytic drugs. And second condition is, we will use this tocolytic drugs in threatened abortion conditions too. Threatened abortions. And third condition is dysmenorrhea. Under these 3 conditions, we will use the tocolytic drugs. The main mechanism of action of tocolytic drugs is to inhibit the uterine contractions, and we will use these tocolytic drugs under 3 conditions. The first condition is we will use to delay the premature labor, and second condition is we will use to threaten abortions also. At this condition also we will use this tocolytic drugs. First condition is we will use this tocolytics under premature, means to delay the premature labor, and second condition we will be using this tocolytics under threatened abortion conditions too, and also we will be using under dysmenorrhea condition also we will use this tocolytic drugs. So this is a mechanism of action and 3 conditions at which time we will use this tocolytics I had explained you. Then next, moving on to what are the drugs that comes under tocolytics. So the first type of drugs that comes under tocolytics is beta adrenergic agonist. Beta adrenergic agonist. But in this beta adrenergic agonist, we are having 2 types. The first type is selective beta 2 adrenergic agonist, and second one is non-selective beta 2 adrenergic agonist. But from these 2, we will be using only the selective beta 2 adrenergic agonist as a tocolytics. We will use only this selective beta 2 adrenergic agonist as a tocolytic drugs. So what are the examples of selective beta 2 adrenergic agonist that comes under tocolytics are isoxsuprine, salbutamol, terbutaline and ritodrin. We will use all these 4 drugs to treat our threatened abortions as well as to delay our premature labor. To this all conditions, we will use this isoxsuprine, salbutamol, terbutaline as well as ritodrin. So these are the selective beta 2 adrenergic agonists which are used to relax our uterus. But there is one kind of contraindication regarding this beta 2 adrenergic agonist. This contraindication is important. We have to not give this beta 2 adrenergic agonist for the pregnant women who are suffering from either diabetes or heart diseases. We have to not give for the pregnant women who are suffering from diabetes or any heart diseases. In these conditions, we have to not give. We have to not give our beta 2 adrenergic agonist. Then, talking about the adverse effects of beta 2 adrenergic agonist are tachycardia, palpitation, hyperglycemia as well as hypoglycemia. These are the adverse effects of beta 2 adrenergic agonist. Even sometimes they'll ask you the adverse effects also. They'll ask you the adverse effects of beta 2 adrenergic agonist when used as a tocolytic. So, there are 4 kinds of adverse effects, that are tachycardia, palpitation, hyperglycemia as well as hypokalemia. So, with this our beta adrenergic agonist had been completed. Then next, moving on to the second type of drugs which can be used as tocolytics is calcium channel blockers. Even we can use these calcium channel blockers or also as a tocolytics. But we have several calcium channel blockers: diltiazem, verapamil, amlodipine, nifedipine, nicardipine. All these drugs comes under calcium channel blockers only. But out of all these drugs, we will be using only one drug as a tocolytic, that is nifedipine. We will use only nifedipine as a tocolytic. So, what kind of activity these nifedipine show upon our uterus means, it will mainly inhibit the entry of calcium ions into myometrial cells. This nicardipine inhibits the entry of calcium ions into myometrial cells. This is the main mechanism of action of nifedipine. Then next, third drug which comes under tocolytics is atosiban. Even atosiban is also used as a tocolytic. So, the main mechanism of action of this atosiban is it will competitively blocks your oxytocin receptors. Whatever the oxytocin receptors that are present in your uterus, that are competitively blocked by atosiban. So, automatically when the oxytocin receptors are blocked, your uterus gets relaxed. So, the main mechanism of action of atosiban is competitively blocks your oxytocin receptors which are present in the uterus. This is the mechanism of action of atosiban. Then last type of drug which can be used as a tocolytic is progesterone. We can use this progesterone as a tocolytic. So, the main mechanism of action of this progesterone is it will relax your uterus, and also it will prevent some miscarriages, to unwanted miscarriages is also prevented by this progesterone. Then out of all progesterone analogues, nowadays we are using progestin drug. In threatened abortions. So, nowadays we are using progestin drug in treating the threatened abortions. The mechanism of action of progesterone is to relax your uterus and also prevent unwanted miscarriages in the woman. So, this is the detailed pharmacology of tocolytic drugs. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe ES Pharma Education YouTube channel for more videos regarding pharmacy, and don't forget to press the bell icon.